and USC-L has ranked first or second among all two-year schools in South Carolina for the past 5 years in the success rate of students completing a 4-year degree. USC-L also has the lowest per student tuition rate in the USC system. I'm going to make it easy on you. I'm going to answer this question for you. We're going to all agree that USC-L is a crown jewel in District 16. So my question to you then is, what will you do to ensure USC-L's viability into the future? Mr. McCoy.
Yeah, I can't afford for this university to go anywhere. I don't think this community can afford for anything to happen to this university. As I spoke about in my opening comments, I've taken classes here. My wife is a student here. She's currently a junior. There is no doubt that if it was not for this university's location and the cost benefits for this, my wife probably wouldn't be about to receive her bachelor's degree. So I can assure you that it's in my heart that I will fight long and hard for this university.
Mr. Gregory.
Well, I think probably next to our hospital at USC-L is the most important institution that we have here in Lancaster. It's an economic engine. It's obviously an educator of our children. It's a hope of our community. Many of y'all that are in this room helped make it what it is today. USC-L, it was on the chopping block a couple of years ago. Governor Sanford very misguidedly targeted USC-L for closure. I tried to intervene as best I could and get him to recognize the error of his ways, and we were fortunately able to keep USC-L from being closed. Right after that, he appointed me to the University of South Carolina Board of Trustees in Columbia, where I served for about 1.5 years. I made certainly a lot of good contacts on the board there. I know the 20 people that run the university system. I know the president of the university, so I think that I can certainly protect USC-L, not from the standpoint of just being the senator, but also from my contacts on the University of South Carolina Board of Trustees. So I think it's really critical. That's a critical issue in this race, and I again would ask everybody to think about how important USC-L is. Our state is facing a $800 billion shortfall. I mean, it could happen again. There could be a call for USC-L to be closed or to be made into a community college. And think about who has the experience to go and intervene to keep USC-L operating for Lancaster County and the surrounding communities that it serves.
Mr. Carnes.
Well, I would echo that USC-L is vital to this community. It is an economic engine that drives jobs, and it drives education and developing the people in our community. My youngest son spent 2 years here at USC-L and went on to Columbia to graduate from the University of South Carolina. So I definitely support this school, and I think we need to make some fundamental changes in Columbia on how we fund the colleges in the state. I'm sure Dean Catalano can agree with me on this, is that the funding system that we've got for the campuses outside of Columbia is not fair. It should be based on the number of students that you've got coming to your university. And a few years ago, the legislature saw fit to mess with that funding system because there were other universities like USC-L throughout the state that were not doing as good a job as USC-L in bringing students into their campuses. The opportunity that is available here is not always available at some of these other campuses because they're not out trying to gain enrollment. They're not out trying to grow and educate the most people that they can in their community. And instead of